I found over the last 20 years, there is one question that pops up time and time and time again, and that is why juice? So I'm going to break this down into 3 very simple reasons, but very powerful. Why don't you just eat it? Trust me on this one. If you're going on to teach juice therapy or do juice workshops, you will get asked that time and time again. Normally people go, yes, this is all very well and good, but why don't I just eat it? Now, the irony is, of course, is that question usually gets asked by people that are either overweight or ill, and the normal answer straight back to them when they say, well, why don't I just eat it? You say, I don't know why you don't, but you clearly don't. The point is that we don't. In fact, actually, research has shown now, although here in the UK, they advocated for many, many, many years, decades in fact, that we should have 5 portions of fruits and vegetables every single day. They upped that to 10 portions of fruits and vegetables every day. And if we just have our realistic heads on, that getting, and again, this is not just fruits and vegetables, this is in their raw form, in their natural state, getting 5 portions, let alone 10 portions into your system every single day in its raw form, having to eat it, most people, it's just an unrealistic expectation, which is why juicing it all of a sudden comes into its own, because I'm a huge believer in if you can't eat it, can you drink it? And it's not only whether you can get it into your system, even if you like it. There's a lot of people that like raw broccoli, that like cauliflower, that like vegetables, and even they don't consume 10 portions every single day. Then you've got other people like me. Now, if you know my history, you will know that I hated fruits and vegetables, which is why I suffered from many different kind of health conditions, ailments, overweight, psoriasis, and so on. And even to this day, people make the false belief that I am a huge vegetable lover. The reason why I still juice daily is because I don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. I will never eat enough fruits and vegetables. Certainly the spectrum of colors, certainly in their raw form. So if I can't eat it, can I drink it? And the answer is yes. Also, one of the reasons why I don't eat this is because a lot of it has bitter taste for me. I still have a relatively sweet tooth. And although my taste buds, without question, have changed over the years, I'm now a huge fan of main course salads, and avocado, something I've never been before. But even when it comes down to broccoli in particular, things like Brussels sprouts, celery, I know that some people can grab a celery stick and they stick it in some hummus and they eat it that way. I'm not one of those people. And the vast majority aren't the type that kind of goes through mounds of fruits and vegetables in their raw form and starts munching them. So whenever you hear anybody saying, why do you encourage people to juice? Why don't you just say to people, eat it? Because people simply don't. And trying to consume 10 portions of fruits and vegetables across the spectrum in its raw form every day is incredibly difficult. And while I'm here, whenever you hear anybody saying, oh, but actually it doesn't constitute a portion, you'll hear this time and time again. In the UK specifically, when you juice a fruit or a vegetable, then it's a portion. If you juice 5 portions of fruits and veg, it's still only 1 portion. It baffles me too. You can juice 10 portions and it's still only 1 portion. What really doesn't make any sense is it's only the juice contained within the fiber that feeds you. So fiber can't feed you anyway. So therefore, when you juice it and you're getting all those nutrients anyway, therefore you are getting the full portion of that particular fruit or vegetable. So the argument that you lose something when you juice it because the nutrients are in the fiber, there are no nutrients in the fiber, and any nutrients that are in the fiber, your body can't gain access to because fiber cannot penetrate through the intestinal wall. So therefore it's only the juice contained within that actually feeds the body. So number 1 reason why juice is because we simply aren't eating enough. Reason number 2, why juice? It's more bioavailable to your cells. What does that mean? It means more of the nutrients contained within the fruits and veg have a much better chance of getting to where it's needed. You will see that there's some backup studies that have shown that it's more bioavailable to the cells. In other words, if you juice something like carrots, you're gaining so much more percentage-wise of things like the beta-carotene contained within as opposed to eating it. There are also several studies that have been done, such as one with wheezing and asthma, with apple juice in particular, where they had the children just drink apple juice every day for a month, and then at the end, it halved their wheezing. They tried the same thing with just eating the apples, and there was no difference whatsoever. And they tried to figure out why, and they can't. And sometimes it's not about having this scientific backup proof, but sometimes it's having the knowledge that actually it makes logical sense that it is more bioavailable. Luckily, there's more and more studies coming forward that can add some weight behind that argument. Now, when I first started this 20 years ago, I used to try and use as many analogies as I possibly could. And if you go on to teach this, sometimes it's good. So you pick, no matter what country that you're in, so you pick a particular motorway or freeway or whatever you call them, autobahn or whatever it is in your country. So here in the UK, for example, we've got a motorway called the M25. It wraps around London, very stop, start, usually stop, clog. Now imagine the M25 motorway, bank holiday weekend, on a Friday night, traffic heading out of town. Now that's how I used to describe some people's digestive system. It's kind of clogged, it's kind of blocked. Juicing is like, I used to describe it as a nutrient courier bike. So you can imagine like a courier bike, a little motorbike going in and out the traffic, and then it get to the cells where it's required. I call it the ultimate fast food because that's what it's been pre-digested by the plant already before we even get involved in it. Then it's broken down, the membranes already by the juice extractor or the blender, whichever the case is. We then have it in liquid form, goes down to our stomach, takes 15 minutes, bam, the best nutrient express you've ever seen in your life. So people with digestive issues, essentially what they're getting is the best bioavailable, and that's what we're talking about here, the finest bioavailable nutrition, I believe, known to humankind. So it's another very powerful argument as to why juice. When people say, why don't you just eat it? There are studies now backing up that actually there's something in the juice, there's something happens when you juice it. It becomes more bioavailable to the cells and you just seem to get more of the valuable nutrition to where it's needed as opposed to eating it. Not in every case, but in many cases that backs up the argument. It's another good reason why juice. Reason number 3, why juice? And this one, it's very difficult to argue against for most people. It just tastes better. There are very few ways to get raw fruits and vegetables into your body in a way that just tastes so wonderful. I mean, listen, kale juice by itself, listen, we've got our honest heads on, for most people it sucks. And I agree with that too. And the same with celery juice by itself. Although I've got more and more used to it, so my palate has gone away from the really sweet juices and now it's more of a kind of an earthy juice that I now prefer. However, I still like to mix a little bit of apple, a little bit of pear going in, just something subtle, or even carrot, nice and sweet. Beetroot, raw beetroot is a sweetness to it, or you add what we call the je ne sais quoi, the little bit of something adding into the juice, whether it's ginger, lime, chili, something you can just, and it's a bit like cooking. You can see you can just add little bits and pieces around that just lifts the entire juice. Take this juice that I have in front of me now, technically a green blend. So we have celery juice, we have kale juice, we have spinach juice, cucumber, courgette, little bit of apple, tiny bit of pear, and we blended that in with half a ripe avocado. The texture, beautiful, but the flavors, because all we're going to really taste in there is a little bit of the pear and the apple, it's not bitter. It just tastes better. And of course, you go back in time, Hippocrates, let food be thy medicine, medicine be thy food. Really, now we're moving into the 21st century, and because unfortunately we've bastardized our food so much, let juice be thy medicine and medicine be thy juice. And as the old expression went, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, but actually you don't need it in here. Why? Because the natural sugars contained within the fruits and the vegetables combined, you end up with something that is beautiful and sweet, but at the same time is phenomenally good for you. So that's it, 3 very powerful reasons when people say, why juice? Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, more of the same over here. Latest video over here. Don't forget to subscribe and to like, and please share what you see.